Good day everyone! In our last video, we learned how to export or render our outputs. Now for this video, let's just clear a few things out. Now one of the major issues that we noticed while making this simple setup is the wall. This wall here in the left side and this wall here on the right, they look fairly decent. They're actually a bit stretched, but it's really nothing compared to the wall right in front of us. Now, there is a way to fix this. The process that I did last time was a bit ineffective. It's not to say that what I did in the previous video was not the right way to do. It's just that sometimes the answer is very simple. I managed to complicate it, and what it did was not the solution that I approach it with was not compatible. Now, this type of error, it's usually very common, especially when doing 3D modeling with how complex our objects are. So if you see that the initial approach in solving your problem here in Blender did not work, it does not mean that that the issue is unsolvable. There are many ways to remedy any errors, and we just have to look for the solutions. So let's fix this wall. One of the things I mentioned in the last video was that maybe I could have created these into three separate cubes. So let's try it. Let's see if my hypothesis would work. So first, let's create a cube. Of course, it's right over here, so let's just drag that here. Let's go to material preview muna. Yan. So let's scale it. Let's try to have roughly like the same size sa anong nagawa natin dyan. Scale it up, thin it down. Yan, let's move it up. So we have the general shape of one wall. Now, of course, the idea behind these three is that these are just duplicates. So that's the idea here. Let's just go to object properties and let's rotate it 90. So again, so this is what I was trying to imply in the last video. Maybe it would have worked if I just did it like this. Now it's not, now it is possible. I could have created those walls in this manner. But of course, you'd have to deal with the alignment and spacing. And sometimes this is just a quick way of doing things. But let's not focus on that first. Let's focus on this. So if we were to say that this is the answer to our solutions, let's see and let's put it in action. So first, let's split our screen. To do that, you can you can mouse over like the edge of your workspace, click and drag. This can also, okay. So yeah, I might have misclicked a few things there, but anyways. So now, let's assign this area here to be our, oh, sorry, had that played out. So we are in the modeling tab. So let's have this area here to be our shader editor. Let's actually yeah, let's go to shading. So again, let's have this here. Now let's add a new texture. We could copy paste the texture here, wall, but let's test this one out. So what you would do is, let's add in an image. Yan. So that's one way of doing it if you don't want to click and drag. If ever medyo gubot na yung workspace ninyo, so you can do that. So there, it does not look great. If anything, the orientation is wrong and everything. So let's select the shape, go to edit mode, click A to select everything. Let's go to UV and unwrap. For some reason, Here, yan, UV editor. Now, this is the default unwrapping shape that you will see if we were to collapse a cube. But in this case, this isn't a cube, this is a rectangle. Now, one of the things I did show in the previous video was to mark your seams. Now, as a quick review, marking your seams is like indicating or showing Blender where to cut your model. An example that I showed was those foldable toys that you would usually find in juice boxes, cereal boxes, magazines. So let's think of it that way. Like if we were to collapse this wall, where would we cut it? So what I'm thinking right now, of course, there are many ways to collapse a cube into a flat object. I'm thinking of cutting this. So what I'm imagining right now is, let's select this, something like this. Let's try to replicate this cut, but just, to specify it. So this is the top cut, and that's the bottom. So I'm going to assume that Blender looked at it in this manner. This is the top. Yeah, now that's the center. This is the side fold, which is connected to this. So yeah, this is where marking your seams manually would help because it would be something that is intuitive for you. In my case, what I wanted would be, let's look at it in this way, kasi ito yung orientation ng other nagawa natin, other scene. So what I imagined was this one, and this one to be connected. Tapos ito yung pinaka-last. While this one and this one is connected to this one. So as you can see in the UV editor here, they are not really aligned. So let's mark these seams. Let's get our edge tool. So this one, the top one here, and this one are connected, so we would not mark this seam. But rather, let's mark this seam because we want these two flaps to separate. Let's also click the lower, let's call it flap. I'll cut it here. Holding down Shift, cutting it there. And last is to cut it here kasi I want this part to be the very last. Now let's click on U, or you can also click Control E for more edge actions. Either way, you will see mark seam here. You can also see mark seam if you click U to open UV mapping. You can also find it here. So there are many ways to reach a certain function. So yeah, we've marked our seam. Let's select everything there. Now it doesn't automatically reflect. We have to click on UV and unwrap. So if we look at our model right now, it is oriented in the way that I originally wanted them to be, with these two connected. Oh, sorry, other side pala. With these two connected. And connect siya, connect. Tapos, itong dalawa nag-connect. But as we can see, medyo nag-stretch pa rin o nag-squish yung mga faces dito. Now, what I did originally was I manually adjusted this one. Now, while it's not exactly wrong, it will turn a bit complicated once you handle like faces that are interlocked with other faces. For example, ito. If we were to move this one, so yan, pwede na madama yung ibang faces. So here, tingnan natin. Multiple selection pala yung nagawa ko. Let's click this. Ito. So yan. Nag-change ito. Tingnan natin yung sa iba. Say, dito ba? Nag-adjust din. And we don't want that. So what we would do is, let me just deselect everything. Select, see. Yan, okay. So now we're back sa original face niya. Let's go to object mode. And then let's click Control A. Now we will click Apply Scale because what happened here is that Blender still sees this shape here, ito siya, itong wall, as a cube. However, we have scaled the cube, but Blender did not recognize this change here. So let's do Control A. Let's click on Scale. Punta tayo ulit sa Edit Mode. Click A to select everything. And now let's re-unwrap our model. And now as we see here, nagbago na yung uh, UV editing natin o yung UV wrap natin. Mas ano na siya, mas similar na siya sa object na gusto natin i-unwrap or yung object na nilagyan natin ng texture. Let's look at it now. This is the front one. The top one, yan, maliit lang siya. Dito din sa baba, maliit lang. Likod, malaki. At ito. At if we ever will zoom in, mas seamless na yung transition ng bricks. Of course, in real life, hindi talaga ito ang ng mga bricks. But you know what? Let's be a bit kind to ourselves in this area. There is also another way to unwrap this. Pwede din na itong harap ang seamless cut. Sa case natin, pa-vertical yung seamless cut natin. That's why medyo nag-align itong here at dito din. Kasi kung tingnan natin yung wraps nila, they are all in a straight line. Ito, sama natin, nasa baba siya. Yan. Pero of course, medyo hindi na-align kapag nandito sa likod. So we can still fix this. Let's select everything again. UV, let's clear the seam. So now, how are we going to do this? Na gusto natin pa left to right. So of course, if this is going to be one clean cut, so let's not put seam lines there. Let's not try to cut those separately. So what we can do is now let's say I still want this to be connected to this one. So I'll put the seam cut. Let's go to edge select. Let's put the seam cut there. I'll put a seam cut here. I'll put a seam cut here, and I will mirror that down below. However, even if we want to have this as a wrap, like nag-wrap around lang ito, we still need to find a cut here. And why is that? Well, let's look at, let's look at what would happen if hindi natin lagyan ng seam dito sa parang loop na face. Let's mark seam. Now, let's unwrap. Unwrap natin. Yan. Ito ang nangyari kapag, actually, yeah, what happened? Grabe, ang lala ng ano, no? Yan. So, this is what happened. Ito lang na-separate natin, but ito, Blender had to forcefully flatten it out. So, let's add a cut here. Let's say, let's add a cut. Ito, let's say, ito yung back part natin. So, let's make this into a seam. Mark seam. Now, let's select everything again. And let's unwrap. And now, it looks friendlier. So, yan, just select everything to move it. However, what would happen is that nakaganitong orientation siya, but that is easy to fix by just rotating our UV here. Ayan. We can adjust the rotation here. Ay, sakto na siya 90. That's good. So, yan. Now, if we would look at the cuts here, mas seamless yung pa left to right. Yeah. Compared sa pa top to bottom. But actually, may fit naman din. So, this is a nice coincidence. We can also scale our UV if gusto natin mas maliit o mas malaki yung mga bricks. Ito, gusto mo na mas maliit yung bricks niya. So, let's scale it up. Gusto niyo mas malaki yung bricks, let's scale it down. Now, the displacement or the normals still apply here. So, let's add vector, normal map. Let's just do everything again here. So, ayan. Lagyan na natin ng normal. So, palakasin natin yung strength nito. Yan. So we managed to fix the texture here. Although looking at this one here, medyo complicated yung shape niya. I believe I marked the seams wrong here. It will take me some time to fix this, but I will assure you with these concepts here, we can fix something as complicated as this. It will involve a lot of thinking and imagining the shape in its different forms. So I really do hope you learned something from this. If you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to message me in Teams. I'll try to help you as best as I can. If ever you do want a certain process to be summarized ba, you can message me and I will upload a dedicated video. However, if medyo alanganin sa time natin, I can send YouTube links of processes that will be easy for you guys to understand and also quick to do. So with that, thank you everyone for watching this video and good luck with intrams and good luck with your assessments. Goodbye.